Hi, everybody, and welcome to the relaunch of the Two Guys Show. I'm one of your co-hosts, Drew Minnock. You can find me on Twitter at TechMinnock. And my other co-host is...
Hey, everybody, it's Brad Wade. It's nice to see you again. It's nice to have the show back up. As I said, I am Brad Wade. You can find me on Twitter at TechBradWade.
And we will be using the hashtag 2 Guys Show, or you can tweet at Brad or I directly, or at Two Guys Show was also a Twitter account that we have for the podcast as well. So please feel free to interact with that as well. And today we have a phenomenal guest. We're very excited to welcome Beth Holland. She is an instructor at EdTechTeacher, and she is a blogger for Edutopia and EdTech researcher. She's a TEDx presenter. She's a Google for Education certified trainer, and she is currently working on her doctorate at St. John's University. Beth, is there anything that I left out?
Well, I'm at Johns Hopkins and not St. John's, but that's okay. There's like
I can't read. Apparently I can't read.
Okay. I'm not sure where St. John's is, but it sounds like a nice place.
I just went to a wedding at St. John's last weekend, so I bet you that's it.
It's on the brain. It's okay. No, that works. I'm really excited to be here, so thanks so much for having me for the relaunch.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's great having you, and it was nice catching up with you in San Diego in January, or actually it was early February. So Beth, why don't you tell us a little bit about EdTechTeacher, what it is and what your role and what your part is in EdTechTeacher.
Great, yeah, so at EdTechTeacher, we are actually all teachers. Every one of us has been in the classroom, and then we do a lot of different things. Right now, we're actually wrapping up our summer workshop series, so we've been working with teachers from all over the country in 6 different cities spread out. We've been in Boston, Atlanta, Chicago, San Francisco, LA, Baltimore, and Boca this year, so we've been crazy busy working with lots and lots of teachers doing 2- and 3-day workshops. I actually just wrapped up 3 days of iPads in the elementary classroom in Boston this week, so I'm pretty excited to be home right now. But when we're not doing that, we're working in schools and districts, and so like deep down, all of us really believe like how can we help teachers help students learn more effectively? So it could be that you've got iPads in the classroom, or you have Chromebooks, or maybe even you're just looking around saying, wow, what could I do, as a school or as a district to really get my students engaged and excited and actively learning, and that's what we love doing. So we'll come in and work with teachers and try and help make that happen. So we're, like I said, we're all over the place. And then you mentioned February, and I don't know if you know, but we're super excited. We're bringing the Innovation Summit back to the East Coast this fall. So we're also right now planning our next Innovation Summit. It's going to be November 2nd, 3rd, and 4th at the brand new Boston Convention Center, which I saw it sort of from South Station parking lot on Tuesday, but it's right in the heart of Boston, right on the water, super cool place. And, we had a great time in San Diego with you guys and everybody else last year, and then we thought, what we need to do is like really shake up what it means to have a conference. So we've got a whole bunch of different kinds of sessions, like way more hands-on things. I think all of us instructors at EdTechTeacher have been super excited lately about like the direction of teaching and learning. So we're looking at a lot more, like design thinking and project-based learning and maker spaces and STEM and some new ideas we can bring in. So we've got a really cool couple of days planned with, everything from like 2-hour hands-on mini workshops to like kind of South by Southwest inspired, we're calling them collaborative knowledge sharing sessions. So we've been really busy. We do lots and lots of things, whatever we can to help teachers.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So staying on that, so somebody watching this right now, how could they get more information on the Innovation Summit in Boston in November? Where could they go? What should they do to register and get information?
Oh, perfect. So I'm glad you asked. We're making life really simple. So everything about us is at edtechteacher.org. And so to find out about Boston, it would be edtechteacher.org/Boston. And right now we've got the call for proposals is still open, and super early bird registration is open, and
super early bird. That's like the super secret.
I know. It's like the super early bird. It's like before you get back to school and you're just like, ooh, now I want to do this. Like, do it now. Do it super early.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I looked at the website earlier today, and you guys already have up there like some of the list of your keynote speakers and feature presenters and things like that. And I remember we kind of talked about your November summit a little bit when we were in San Diego, and it's going to be an absolutely awesome event. That's for sure. If you're in the area, you definitely need to check it out, and if you're not, you should consider flying in, because in February in San Diego, we had people from all over, didn't we? I mean, Brad, in our session, we usually give stuff away based on how far you came. It was almost impossible to do, wasn't it, Brad?
Yeah, we had multiple people from over 1,000 miles away, and that became kind of hard. We had people from Canada.
Get Google Maps out to try and determine who's the furthest.
Yeah.
We brought enough swag. We kind of started just giving, all those people something. So people started traveling from long distances, from Hawaii, from Canada, from Mexico, from Central America, other countries and stuff. So it was great. So Beth, what is one area that you really like to speak and present on and work with teachers? You specifically, wherever you go.
I've got a couple of things going on. One is, I spent 6 years working in a preschool through 8th grade school. And so I taught everyone from 3-year-olds to 8th graders. And so I do a lot of work at that K-8 level. So lots of very specific elementary work, because, elementary school kids are not just like shrunken high schoolers. It's a very specific thing. But lately I've just been really, really excited about actually thinking through using the design thinking process to change up my workshops. And so working with teachers, we've spent a lot of time in the last few months where I try to actually have them experience life as students, and then help them try to envision how can they engage almost with that empathy phase of design thinking. How can they really start thinking then about their students and coming up with these new experiences to really meet them where they are. And so just kind of changing up the way that I approach designing workshops has been really, really fun, and then watching the way teachers get super excited has been great. So I definitely focus on that age group, and then now that I'm being a student again, that's actually put me in a different place where I'm starting to do a little bit more work with school leaders, talking to a lot of school leaders, focusing on that leadership side and asking these questions of, what does innovation look like, and what does it mean, and what are the skills that our kids are really going to need, for their future as they go forward. And so I'm bouncing right now between, sort of a K-8 world and then the leadership route, which has been really fun and different.
Yeah, I can see that's two completely different lenses that you're getting, and that's awesome. That's really exciting. That's for sure. I'm sure it's exciting for you to change up kind of how you present, because Brad and I present quite a bit, and if you're doing the same style or the same presentation multiple times, it can become kind of stale for you. Maybe not for the audience, but it's hard to keep it going. So you switching it up is not only exciting for the people in your workshop or your session, but for you as well. I'm sure it almost re-energizes you.
Yeah, I mean, even doing the iPads in the elementary classroom, this was a 3-day workshop, and I think I've taught this workshop at least twice every summer for the last 4 years. And I can honestly tell you that this year looked nothing like anything ever before. And, I had sort of this revelation when I was taking a class back this fall on learning sciences, where I thought, teachers don't know what it feels like to be this learner. And one of the key tenets of learning is you have to build off your prior experience. And if you've never had that experience, how are you expected to do this? It's kind of crazy. And so have really been embracing the idea of purposeful play. And so the first day of a 3-day workshop, we play games, and I have them be students, and I challenge them to act the age of their students and test my classroom management strategies and ask me when lunch is going to be, and all of those kinds of fun things to see what the environment can be like, and then build from there. So it's been really fun to have a very, very different kind of workshop.
Well, that's great, and I love that you're asking them to become their students and play and simulate what they're looking for in a classroom as well. And going back to your design thinking, that's so great to hear, because Drew and I are big design thinking fans. And so why do you think design thinking's become such a big thing now, like, like STEM and things like that? So, I mean, we have our own ideas, but why do you see it kind of taking off? What are the ingredients or the tangible things or the variables that make it such a valuable thing to work with teachers now?
Well, I think you actually nailed it really well when you said tangible. Like, it gives you a very concrete framework for where to begin. Sometimes, like, I love project-based learning, don't get me wrong. I mean, I absolutely love it, but project-based learning is really hard. Like, it is really hard to craft a driving question and think about how do I engage my students in deep inquiry. Well, if you start with design thinking and you start with that idea of empathy and you say, how can I really structure the process for me as a teacher of getting to know my students and hooking into their passions and seeing what they're super excited about? And then how do I create this experience where my students can start to do the same thing? I think in some ways it makes a really good, like, tangible, concrete point of entry, because even if you never got past the idea of empathy and defining problems, think of all the amazing creative things you could do. So it doesn't always have to result in, like, that full design process where we start thinking about, maker spaces and three-dimensional things. We did design thinking and digital storytelling this week. So our final product were these 60-second video stories that we did about fictional characters. But we still went through all of those phases and all of those steps. It was just that it was a different product in the end. And it was really more about that empathy and the define. And then you start asking really, really good questions.
That's awesome. I think that it's important for them when you say that you're having them kind of become the student, because we talk about it all the time, how learning has changed so much, especially with the emergence of social media and just technology in general, that really when a lot of teachers, when they were students, it wasn't like it is today. So they have no idea kind of what it's like to be in the shoes of their students. So giving them that opportunity to then step out of their teacher lens a little bit and try to view the lesson or the content from their students' perspective, I think it gives them probably a pretty powerful insight.
Yeah, I read a great book last fall that it was called Tinkering Toward Utopia. It was written in 1995 by Larry Cuban and David Tyack, and they talk about this idea of, like, the grammar of school. And they say that there's, like, no other institution in the world where you could walk up to anybody in almost any culture and say, what do you think a school looks like? And they'll all give you the same vision. Like, oh, there's a teacher and there's a classroom and there's, everybody faces forward and there's a chalkboard, whiteboard, smartboard, whatever you want, but there's something up there. And that's that grammar of school. It's grouped by age, there's subjects. We could list all those things. And now all of a sudden we're saying, okay, take that really entrenched grammar of school and now throw it out. Well, that's really scary, Like, that takes a lot of risk, and it's really terrifying at first. And so to know that you could use a process and say, okay, I'm not just going to be like wild, wild west. I'm actually going to be very deliberate in how I think about it. I think it gets a little easier. And then we were kind of being silly and kind of not in our workshop this week, where I made everybody stand up and point at themselves and go, it's not about me. And that's, like, the most liberating thing ever when you go, it's not about me, it's about the kids. And now suddenly it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if you like technology or don't like technology, or if you like dinosaurs or you don't like dinosaurs. Like, it just doesn't matter because it's not about me, it's about them. And just by doing that, it's like, oh, I can relax now. This is really going to be fun. We'll see what's possible, and we'll meet these kids, where they are, and we're going to do what's best for them. So.
I think by doing that too, I know a lot of teachers, they have a very hard time giving up control. So by saying, like, oh, it's not about me, it's not about me having control, it's about the kids and what's best for them, I think is extremely important. And I'm sure that some people had a very difficult time for doing that. And some of them, giving up that little bit of control just in any aspect can be very difficult, let alone to, like, 25, 30 kids at the elementary level, right?
Yeah.
Brad and I both know what that looks like when you try and give up control a little bit and it goes wrong. It can be a little chaotic or organized chaos,
I'm fairly certain I had kids hanging from the ceiling tiles one day in my classroom. Like, it was.
Oh, one day. I think that was an everyday occurrence in Brad and I's rooms.
Yeah. So Beth, I just want to like pick your brain real quick.
Yeah.
If for teachers or even administrators that are watching this right now, no matter when it is, what would be some either fun tools or apps, maybe 2 or 3, that would just be like great for them to explore or be aware of, just kind of get their feet wet, get their hands in the sandbox or whatever. Do you have some of your favorites that you just think are very cross-curricular type, to just kind of get people in? What would be some of your recommendations, your favorites?
I mean, right now, I live and die with Book Creator. I have to say, like, I absolutely love Book Creator, and the fact that it's iPad, it's Android. I'm even using it right now on a Windows Surface, which is pretty cool. And then I'm assuming that with the whole like Android Chromebook thing, it's working there. But I mean, those guys really just designed a tool that you can use for anything. I even used it to teach coding when we were in South Africa. I'd never taught a coding session before, and they were like, great, teach a coding session. And I thought, okay, I have 200 people. What can I use? Book Creator. So that was awesome. And then I have to show you. I brought my new favorite thing, and it's not an app. Yeah, here we go. It's a book. It's a game. It's called the Extraordinaires Design Studio. And it's actually, this has been like completely changed everything. It's a whole.
Hold it up for a minute? Can you hold it up for a minute?
Yeah. So I'm going to hold this up. Like, this thing is my absolute new favorite. I've used it with teachers who have iPads, Chromebooks, you name it. It doesn't matter. So it's this design thinking game, and it wasn't necessarily designed for teachers. It was designed more for like industrial designers and people. But what it does is you pick a fictional character, like this dude, and they start out by having to engage in empathy by studying and like interviewing the card. And so like there's a front, and then there's a whole story on the back, and then you can continue with this however you want. And there's everything from, you might like design an invention or a gadget or a place to live or a thing to wear. As you really start to make observations, these cards are pretty cool. Like, you never know what each character might be doing. And then you can take it wherever you want. So I've used it sometimes with just the characters, and we use it for doing storytelling and ways to scaffold lots and lots of different skills. And then I've done it where we work through a whole process, and you actually design an invention and identify a problem and then prototype it and say what you would do with it. But what I'm finding is so nice is it, just like you said, sometimes there's that fear of control. Because this is so fictional and it has nothing to do with anybody's curriculum, you're not afraid of it. Like, you're not wondering like, oh, well, I don't teach this subject, or I don't necessarily do this piece. You can tie it into any subject area, any curriculum, anything. And then there's something that's really fun about these characters. I had a woman in Atlanta who actually didn't want to give me her card back. She was like, I bonded with my giant. Can I keep her? Like, I really need the giant back.
No, I really need that back.
Like, I really do. I'll take your picture with it, and you can have the picture of yourself with your giant, but I really do need my card back. But we had spent hours working with this and going through a whole process, and it's just been amazing how many different ways I can use this as a tool to engage people in really good collaborative dialogue, and to try things, because they're not afraid of a bow shooting whoever that was.
Right.
Tribal child. They're not afraid of tribal child. I guess that's that one. And so it's like in my bag at all times. I never know when I might pull it out.
So I just looked it up as you were explaining it, and
yeah.
So what version do you have?
So I'll be honest, I bought the big one, but you don't really need the big one. So I brought the Pro version, but I think most teachers could probably buy the smaller one that just has inventions and gadgets. And then for math and science folks, what's really cool, it comes with this like sketch pad with this paper on it, that the way that the paper is designed, it makes you draw to scale and proportion. And so math teachers and like engineering type teachers can do an entire scale, proportion, like how do you build stuff lesson with it. So again, it really works cross-curricular. And the website has that paper as PDF too. So if you wanted to do the whole thing digitally, you could do it that way. I've just been taking pictures of things.
That's awesome.
It's been really cool.
Thanks, Beth. I'm probably going to buy this now. I just want you to know. Like, thanks. I have this problem where, like, I see these things, I'm like, I have to have that. I got to try it now. Don't have that. I like.
Absolutely.
It's awful. It's a bad habit.
Yeah.
So we're chatting with Beth Holland from EdTechTeacher. She's telling you about some great resources. She just told us about Book Creator and the book she just talked about. And you heard that you can look it up. Where did you get it? Did you get it on Amazon? Did you find it in the store? Where'd you find that? So our listeners can grab it.
You can get it on Amazon. I picked it up at the time because Barnes & Noble's had a teacher sale, and they were selling it at a discounted price. And so I got it at the time at Barnes & Noble's, but I know it's there. You can buy it straight through their website. I know it's extraordinaires.com.
It's kind of funny because I looked at it and I saw how much it was. So then I quickly looked it up on Amazon, and it's double the price on Amazon.
Whoa.
So I don't know if it's the exact same thing, but it says the Extraordinaire Design Studio Pro. I mean, it's...
Okay, so which one, where should they go? Which place?
The website, extraordinaires.com.
Extraordinaires.com. If you want to get your copy, check it out there. If you are a virtual good person, you can probably just get it electronically. If you're a physical good, you can buy it. If you need that physical thing like going to Target or getting your coffee every day, you can get it in either version. All right, so Beth, I know we're going to start wrapping up in a minute, but before we get to some other questions, just quickly tell people how they can get a hold of you, because I know people are going to have some great questions about things you talk about. How do you prefer to be contacted by viewers of this show? What's the best way for them to reach out and say, I loved what you said, how can I do this?
Honestly, you can get me however you want. So I'm on Twitter, I'm at brholland. So I always respond there. You're welcome to email me. I'm beth@edtechteacher.org. I exist on LinkedIn if you want to find me there, although I don't know how to tell you how to find me, but I am Beth Holland.
Okay, they can probably find you on LinkedIn, right?
They can find me there. I tried this Snapchatting thing, and I got to tell you, I have not figured it out yet.
I'm not there yet either.
I'm not there yet either. Don't worry. You're not alone.
You can try that too. I can't promise anything, but I am consistent like BR Holland all over the place.
That's good. Okay, so if they type your name in or they do BR Holland, they can find you on Twitter. They can find you other places and stuff.
Absolutely.
All right, so where are you going next? I know viewers are going to see this. We know you have the Innovation Summit in Boston, November. I know you've been in South Africa teaching and stuff this summer, been all over the country.
Yeah.
Where are you off to next? Where are a couple of your next few places you're going to?
So next week I'm in Skokie, Illinois, and I'm kicking off a brand new full-year PD program with a group of their, they call them the I-Leaders, so they have a group of I-Leaders in the Skokie district.
Awesome.
Then I have the first week of August, I'm actually at residency at Hopkins for school, so I'm a student for a week. And then heading down to, I know I'm flying to Orlando. I'm going somewhere north of Orlando to the McKeel schools.
Okay.
And then I have finals week, so I'm home. And then I have like a crazy stretch where honestly I don't know where I am. I kind of bounce between like around New England for a little while with like Berlin, New Hampshire, something, Massachusetts. I go to Providence, Rhode Island again. That's an easy one. So I'm definitely bouncing around through September, and then I can't think further ahead than that right now, to be honest.
Well, that's good. So we know where you're going to be between now and November. If our viewers are watching in that span, they know how they get a hold of you, and they can see where you're at. Best place to find out where you're at is through EdTechTeacher or on Twitter. Would that be fair?
Yeah, that works. Or we've got EdTech Researcher on EdWeek. So if you're wondering what I'm actually researching, all that is being published there. So. Perfect. I'm around. I'm pretty easy to find.
Well, that's awesome, and congrats, by the way, on all your research, your writing, and working as your doctoral candidate. That's pretty impressive. So well done.
Very impressive, absolutely.
So, all right, so I have to get to the question, one of my favorite questions all the time is, what's on your playlist? Can you give me like 2 of your favorite songs? Because people watching right now, we're filming, it's in summer, it's summertime right now. Like, I have some songs. What are your favorite songs right now on your playlist?
So you have to understand, like, I'm a Pandora fan because I don't have a ton, but I do have sort of like my happy workshop morning playlist, and I always have the happy song. So Pharrell Williams, I've got the happy song.
Perfect.
I've got Unbelievers by Vampire Weekend.
Okay.
And then
I don't know that one.
It's a happy song. It's a good.
I'll have to look that one up.
And then this is just, it's kind of a funny thing, but Bling Bling by the Wiggle Worms, it does not matter what I do, I can't get it off my phone. It keeps popping up. I put it once for my 2-year-old nephew, and it doesn't matter what playlist I have going. At some point, everyone looks at me odd because we're listening to Bling Bling again.
Nice.
You have a toddler, you know that song, so I guess it's okay.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Brad, you want me to go next?
Yeah, why don't you go next?
All right. My three, pretty much playing some of these on just absolute repeat, and that's The Sound of Silence by Disturbed. Absolutely unbelievable cover of the song by Simon and Garfunkel, and it is phenomenal. I'll tweet the link out here shortly of their live performance of it on Conan O'Brien, and it is phenomenal. Wherever I Go by one of my favorite bands, One Republic, is one of their newer songs. And the last one is kind of funny. It's called Golden, and it's by someone in, how do you say her name, Brad? Sia? S-I-A?
Sia?
Sia. But she's just part of the song. But anyway, this is a cover by Anchor and Bell, and it's a cover of the song. And the original is obviously, it's kind of like a rap song, but the cover is it's kind of a slow song where you really get to understand the lyrics a little bit better. And it was actually the song that my wife and I danced to, was our first dance at our wedding. So
that's awesome. Awesome.
So those are the three songs.
Awesome. Well, you know, I usually have three, but I do have four because it's been a while. It is summer, and people who've been around me this summer know some of these songs that I really enjoy. Just Like Fire by Pink, great song. You know, most of the songs I like are ones that are really upbeat that I can dance in the car to and sing. And as Drew knows,
it's very true.
I really like to sing and dance in the car. So Just Like Fire by Pink, if you like that song, shout it out. If you've never heard of it, check it out. This one's going back a few months. It's Dessert by Darwin. It's great. It's a few months old, but it's fantastic. This one's super popular right now. There's a dance that goes with it. My daughter showed it to me. It's pretty amazing. It's called Don't Mind by Kent Jones. It's the one to say konnichiwa in a lot of different languages. It's awesome. And then one I just discovered that I love, the Somerset is one of my favorite bands, and they just released a new song called Figure Me Out. And so I've been listening to that too. So I just looked at my recent songs, and those are the four that I've been listening to the most. So check them out, and thanks for sharing yours with us, Beth and Drew. Always good to hear yours. One Republic, no surprise there.
No surprise at all. And just, if you guys are familiar with our show, we always share what's a few songs that's on our playlist. Brad and I do, and then our guests as well. And actually created a Spotify playlist that you can subscribe to and check out for, like, not every song that we've ever shared on this show, because that would be insane, is on there, but a lot of them are on there, including my three from today I put on there, and then I'll make sure that I add Beth and Brad's as well. So definitely check that out.
You don't have to add the wiggle worms. It's okay.
we can, though, just in case. You never know.
You never know. You might have a screaming toddler in your car, and it works.
You might. So let's go ahead and jump to our last segment, which is Twitter shout-outs. 3, maybe 4 people that you'd like to shout out on Twitter and their Twitter handle if you have it, please. Go ahead, Beth. You can start off.
Yeah, sure. I mean, so first one has to go out to Brenda Doucette, and she's at DoucetteB. She's a fantastic instructor in Massachusetts, amazing instructional coach, and I worked with her this week really closely. Lots of fun. The other one is, if you're not following and you don't know Saba Kidwai out in California,
she's awesome.
She's fantastic. She's at Ask Miss Q, and she wrote a really fantastic design thinking article as a guest post for us on EdTech Researcher this week about, like, design thinking and visual storytelling. So if you're looking for things, she's great, and I can get you that link as well if you want to share. And the third one is Shaylin Farnsworth. And I don't know if you guys have met Shaylin. She's in Iowa, and she's at SH Farnsworth, but unbelievable instructional coach, literacy coach, doing really, really fascinating things. And we've been working with her some this summer, and so she's a huge resource and has a great blog. So if you're looking for, like, reading, writing, literacy kind of ideas, she's an amazing, amazing resource.
Awesome. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. Know of her, haven't met her. Chat with her through social media and stuff sometimes. So thanks for those shout-outs. Drew, you want to go? You want me to go ahead and go?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and go. I've got 3. First one being John Mark Rocha. I think I pronounced that right. I hope I did. His Twitter handle is at D4ENTI Educator. he works with deaf and hard of hearing, I believe, students down in Texas, and I'm going to see him soon at iPad Palooza South Texas. And he was sending out some pictures of some sketch notes from his sketchnote notebook he's preparing for. So that was pretty cool to see. Big shout out to him. Don McMahon. I don't even know if I said that right. I probably might have pronounced that wrong. But he's a professor at Washington State University. I had a call with him the other day. I met him actually at CES, at the Education Transforming EDU section. And he's published a ton of research about augmented reality and its impact on learning. So I had a cool call with him the other day about what he's doing up there with his assisted learning lab, which is working with technology and figuring out how it can help people with learning disabilities. A lot of really cool work that he's doing. And then the last one is Patrick O'Shea, who is a professor at Appalachian State, who I actually will be talking to on Monday, who also has done a lot of work with augmented reality and things like that in education. So those are my three.
That's awesome. Haven't chatted with Patrick in a while, but that's awesome. I've got three, and the three I have are going to be future guests on the show. First one is Kevin Honeycutt. You can find him on Twitter, Kevin Honeycutt, Honeycutt. He does a lot of speaking, a lot of thought leadership. Great story. If you haven't met him or seen him speak, if he's anywhere around you, you should check him out. Second one is Jen Jones. She is known for Hello Literacy and her blog, Hello Literacy. You can find her at Hello Jen Jones on Twitter. And then the third one is Kayla Delzer. You can find her at Top Dog Teaching. Those are all three great people to follow and check out. They will be on the show coming up as well.
And I forgot to give the Twitter handles to the last two that I shouted out. So the Don's Twitter handle is at MACGGM, and then Patrick O'Shea's is at Patrick O'Shea, PhD. So we'll tweet those out as well.
All right, so Drew, why don't we tell people where we are going to be and where you're going to be. So why don't you do your schedule for the next month or so, and then I'll do that, and then we'll wrap things up.
Yeah, we're actually both going to be in one of our favorite places to visit, which is Cypress Fairbanks District, next week for the Digital Learning Conference. This will be our third or fourth year there in a row.
Yep.
So we're pretty excited to be back there and work with all the people in that area. It's a phenomenal event every single year. And then we go directly to Colton Joint District, Unified School District, about an hour and a half outside of Los Angeles. So we're pretty excited to work with them on next Friday. And then I am at iPad Palooza South Texas in McAllen, Texas, which is like right on the U.S.-Mexico border in Texas. So pretty excited about that. And then right after that week, I go down and I work with Goose Creek District with a group of librarians the week after. So busy next couple of weeks.
Absolutely. Yeah, so you heard I'll be with Drew at DLC at Cypress Fairbanks outside of Houston, and then we go to LA. Then after that, Drew will be doing iPad Palooza, Austin, Texas. Where are you?
South Texas.
South Texas, and the same day I'll be doing iPad Palooza in Minnesota. I'll be in Minneapolis. Then after that, I will be going back to Houston again for a week working there, and then be going out to Kansas. So like Drew, busy next month and few weeks. And then we'll be back in Detroit just working on it, recording some more shows. And so if you want to find us, you can find where we are on twoguysandsomeipads.com. That is our blog. We'll also have all of our show guests on there. And Drew's been doing a great job of moving our shows over and getting us launched again. So thank you, Drew, for doing the technical stuff and getting us set up behind the scenes. Appreciate that.
Yeah. They're all up on iTunes actually now. Every episode that we've ever recorded is up on iTunes now, which is pretty exciting. And then Beth will get this episode up there very quickly. And then SoundCloud. If you just go to SoundCloud and then search the number 2, Guys Show, you'll be able to find all of them there, and we have them on our website as well. So that's where you can find and subscribe to the podcast. Thank you, Beth, so much for joining us today. Sounds like you're extremely busy over the next couple of months, and good luck with all of your studies and research.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me. It was really fun, and it was so nice to see you again since February.
It was great to see you. Yep.
It's been great.
Absolutely. Thanks. Take care of yourself, Beth. Tell everybody, Tom, everybody at EdTech Teacher, we said hi, and we love what you guys are doing. Keep up the great work.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. This was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Bye, everybody.
Right. Bye-bye.
We'll see you.